Yes, the doggy wants love, but we should also pay attention to the podcast we're
No, the
recording.
doggy. No, the doggy.
Hello, everybody.
Hello!
When you're home, we're in your head. Lock the doors and close the blinds. Turn on your TV. Turn off your mind.
I have evolved. Thank you, Glenn. All right, Glenn, it's time to get down. Go on, Glenn. Go on.
Hello, everybody.
Hello! Welcome to another fantastic, wonderful edition of
Soul of a Gamer.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Steven.
And every week we come at you with the game and smack you in the face with it.
Yeah, we're like, bitch,
Bitch!
play this.
But
Or
not
don't.
like, but see, when we say bitch, we're either slapping a man, a woman, or a non-binary.
Bitch is just everything and everyone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and I wanted to address this really fast. We still like High on Life.
Yes.
It's still a fun game, even though Justin Roiland's a giant piece of shit.
Yes.
So,
And we did record that episode before we found out all the
Yeah.
stuff about him, but we still wanted to post the episode. We still think it's a good game, still worth the play.
yeah.
We don't obviously agree with things that Justin Roiland did personally, but he, like we've said with other projects, he's not the only one on the project. We
Yep.
still want to support the projects and all the other people involved with them, not just because one person are we going to be like, fuck this game
What's
entirely.
crazy is I've heard so much stuff that says he's like not creative anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's just everyone else is writing for him, and he's just got the attitude right down,
yeah.
and that's all that he's contributing.
Well, I mean, he only wrote 5 episodes of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, but what I mean is like he's not even like contributing in any content like at all. He's not like helping out, right? He's not doing anything. He's just recording his voice. So I'm assuming the same is for High on Life. Like someone else did most of the fucking work.
I'm
with that.
guessing so, yeah.
And then he just laid down his usual, fun banter or whatever. He's still a funny
Yeah.
guy, but
I mean, he's does the voices extremely well,
Yeah.
but there's tons
he's got
of
the
people who can
attitude
do the
exactly
voices.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. There's a ton of people who can do it. But that aside, we just wanted to mention,
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think it was
still
a good,
think it's a great game. I think you guys should play it, even if you don't like Justin Roiland anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of like a lot of people right now are also trying to boycott Hogwarts Legacy because of J.K. Rowling. And I'm like,
Well, see,
that's so stupid because she has nothing to do with the game.
Yeah,
like, she has absolutely nothing to do with the game.
like if we go back to the OG with this, it's probably Michael Jackson, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can still like Michael Jackson's music without liking him as a person.
Yeah.
Like, see, unfortunately, sometimes you have to separate the art from the artist, and then that's a big case with J.K. Rowling, with Michael Jackson, with Justin Roiland. We can like things that they did, and we can always appreciate that we got a good laugh or a good fun time reading it or watching it or listening to it or whatever, and then we can hate the fucking person because they're giant jackasses.
There's a SNL thing with Pete Davidson. They were asking him, like, how do you listen to, like, people like R. Kelly or Michael Jackson? He's like, I don't know, headphones.
And it's true. It's like
just keep it to yourself.
Like
Who
it's shitty
cares?
because you're like, I shouldn't like this person because he probably molested 25 kids.
Yeah.
But his music is so good.
And it's true.
Yeah.
But that
And
just
he's
goes
dead.
with
Who gives a fuck
that
anymore?
goes with a lot of just artists in general.
Yeah.
A lot of artists come from troubled past. They have
Yeah.
something bad that happened to them where they did in the past, and that's how they channel their art or whatever.
And also, 99% of people I meet on a daily basis, I do not like.
yeah.
I'm going to fit them into that category too. I'm going to assume if I met them on the street, I probably wouldn't like them.
Everyone's a piece of shit in their own way.
Yep. All right, so let's get into this.
Yes.
We are playing...
Max Payne.
and we hope you enjoyed last week's episode. I cannot remember what it is, and I'm not going to try to remember. So we just hope you
we're
enjoyed
just
it.
gonna look at
Oh, I was just going to say ignore it and just say, I hope you enjoyed it. We don't know what it is.
Oh, it was High on Life.
No, it's High on Life. All right, so we loved
It's been
it.
a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a little while. Sorry, guys. We've hit snag foos. So,
Snack foods.
but we're back at a regular recording basis. I hope.
Yes.
So yeah, this week we are playing Max Payne.
Yes.
So let's just jump right into this with.
What's on the box?
I wanted my hands to be the hands on.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I want to be a hand model.
So, Max Payne. Max Payne is a man with nothing to lose in this violent, cold urban night. A fugitive, undercover cop framed for murder and now hunted by cops and the mob. Max is a man with his back against the wall, fighting a battle he cannot hope to win. Prepare for a new breed of deep action game. Prepare for pain.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because at the front of this box, it's New York, fugitive, undercover cop, nothing to lose. Like, why did they all? Why at the beginning of that is it New York?
Gives
Everything
you the
else,
setting.
I guess, but everything else describes him kind of. Not even the undercover cop really describes him. He's literally fugitive is the best thing.
Well, he was an undercover cop. But he
Kind of.
also is.
He's not even a
now.
cop. He's a fucking DEA agent,
Well,
isn't he?
he's a detective for the DEA.
They don't have the.
He
names,
was.
do they?
He was a cop at
He's just an
first,
agent.
and then he became a detective for the DEA.
Yeah. But it's so weird because it's like Max Payne, fugitive from the law, and then he gets arrested and you're like, did anything happen that was good? What did I even do this all for? I don't understand anymore. This
For
whole-
vengeance!
Yeah, apparently. The box is okay. I like I like the picture of him.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool, and I think if you would have released it now, it would have been fucking sweet.
Yeah.
The art would have been touched up a bit. It would have looked really fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it does a decent enough job of showing you kind of this game's got a lot of guns, a lot of bullets, just pretty much just every typical like cop thing you can think of. It's got the yellow tape on the case.
Yeah.
It's got the man holding the gun at the side profile. It's got everything you think about.
And like honestly, they did a good job with the back pictures because instantly they're showing fucking action. They're not showing. I think we complained about another one where it was like they're showing like, hey, you could see this sky.
Yeah.
Let me show you what the sky in the game looks
This
like.
girl looks sad.
Yeah, like, and this one, it's literally shots through a window, something blowing up, some guy getting shot on the ground, shots behind a table,
Guy in front of a nightclub.
Yeah, like this is actually, it's really fucking good. It's showing exactly what this game is. It's a fucking action game.
Yep.
It's a shoot 'em up action game.
Yep.
And then that's a great idea for a box. And I love that it's Rockstar.
Yes.
I don't know if I know they've released other Max Paynes. I don't know if they've
there's
redone the first
three. No, they have not.
one. They
redone.
really need to.
They do.
They really need to.
So there's 3 Max Paynes, and then there was a Max Payne movie starring Mark Wahlberg and Mila Kunis.
No.
That was god awful.
We should have watched it. I should have watched it. I've never seen it.
I've been debating watching it for my other podcast.
I can just picture fucking Max Payne, Mark Wahlberg, just over the top acting because that's what he fucking does in movies like this. Like to me, that would be like a comedy. Like he would be great in a comedy for that, but it wouldn't be a comedy.
Yeah, for sure. I don't take him very seriously in a lot of things.
he's too funny. Like I love him when he's in comedy movies. I hate him when he's in action movies.
Yeah.
The only one I'll give an exception to, I think he was in Shooter. And I really like Shooter.
I do like Shooter.
Yeah, Shooter was really good. But other than that, he's shit in action movies.
Yeah.
All right, well, box is
pretty
good.
much-
I'll give it like a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty solid. It like especially for early Xbox games, like this was an original Xbox game just for everyone who knows.
Yeah.
I think it was also on PlayStation.
Yeah, for sure.
Which would be PlayStation 2 was
Yes.
the time? Yeah.
I played it on PlayStation 2, so yes. I played it on an emulator that is a PlayStation 2.
Okay then. Okay.
All right, guys, let's jump into...
Are we jamming?
You know, I'd love to say yes, but the sound wasn't working.
So-
Guys, we both played on a PC port to start out.
Oh.
And it was the PC port for this game is so fucking bad. There's so many glitches. There's nothing right about it.
Well, and it's so hard to even play on now-and-day PCs or now-and-day laptops. Like, because you have to basically make it you have to allow legacy.
You have to make your PC a piece of shit.
Pretty much.
You have to limit the frame rates to 30,
Yeah.
otherwise you're just going
I couldn't
overboard.
play this on my laptop at all.
Yeah.
And then I got it to play on my PC, but there was no audio. Or there was limited audio.
Yeah, mine had the noises and such, like the bullet sounds and the walking
Yeah.
and everything.
But it didn't have any of the dialogue audio.
Yeah, apparently there's dialogue when the comic strips are going.
Yeah.
I had no fucking idea.
And that-
until the end when one of them just randomly popped up. I'm like, wait, he's talking? His
See-
voice sounds amazing.
And see, that's where I have the problem because honestly, like a lot of the dialogue and stuff in this game is fucking hilarious. This is
it?
like
Okay.
this is one of those kind of like crime noir kind of things with it's like that gritty like Spider-Man noir in the Spider-Verse. Like he just has that very much that vibe of it was a dark winter night.
Yeah.
And I was all alone. And I had to shoot 3 guys in the face.
It's
with
like
bullets.
if you watch an old
the bullets
detective
kill 'em.
movie, the detective would narrate over everything they're doing.
Yeah.
Little did I know when I walked into that room, I was going to be full of holes.
Exactly. That's exactly
And
the
like that,
style.
it's that whole detective narration thing with Max Payne.
It is brilliant,
yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, and it's like it would be cool, and the little bit of voice dialogue that I was able to hear through because I think I had like 2 or 3 frames that worked, and
Yeah.
that was it, 2 or 3 out of like 50.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, his voice, they get a great voice actor for him. Like he sounded really fucking like deep and resonating and a fucking like scary kind of like. It was actually kind of fun to hear him talk. I don't know about the other people, but his voice at least was good.
Yeah, and a lot of the other voices weren't like too like noticeably like great or anything. A lot of them were just like quick lines here and there.
Yeah.
He primarily was the main voice and the narrator and everything.
Yeah.
And voiced all the comic lines. James McCaffrey is his name.
Okay.
And he does Max Payne for all of the games. And he's been in a few other things, but not a lot like big things. So
Yeah. One thing I will say, this didn't have a big soundtrack. I think
No.
he basically had the same. I didn't even notice the soundtrack, but that could have been that it wasn't playing and I just was ignoring it. But more than likely, I think the music was going through still. It's just that there wasn't a lot of it.
yeah,
Like,
there
they
was
really simplistically put this in, but it kind of worked for the game.
there wasn't a ton of like noticeable like there was music and stuff in the background,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like anything that like you would recall.
Yeah.
Like I can't even think of like how any of it sounded.
But like that's almost good, right? Because you kind of
yeah,
don't
I
want-
mean I didn't have anything I complained about with
yeah,
it, but I also like
the
there
only
wasn't
thing
anything
was
like
the sound wasn't working. That was it. Like,
Yeah.
literally.
and there's nothing to rave about with it. I would say mainly the things that I like about the sound in this was mainly just the Max Payne
voice.
dialogue
Yeah,
of
he's
his
fucking
narrating the story.
hilarious.
It's too great.
Yeah. I can't wait to get into the story to say my favorite parts, but there's one part where I'm like, God, this was the best part of the fucking game.
There's a few.
Yeah.
There's a few.
All right, well, that's pretty much it for that. So let's go on to.
How does it play?
So a couple things. We've already mentioned the PC port is literally garbage. If you guys are
Yeah.
going to play this game, do not play it on PC.
Buy it on Xbox.
Yeah.
You can still buy it on the Xbox Games Floor. It's
ridiculous
like
for
$15.
$15. I
It
think
is.
you could emulate it and get a good thing out of an emulation because
You probably could.
Yeah, because I think that's already tended to be like a lower frame rate thing. Which I
Yeah.
should have done that. As soon as I started having issues, I should have just emulated it right
Yeah.
away. But my dumbass decided to keep going with the PC, which big mistake. So yeah, if you play PC, the how does it play is like it's garbage. It's literally garbage. I was stuck between walls at one point. I couldn't move forward because there was invisible walls in my way. I couldn't jump because there was invisible walls above me. Like it was just insane how bad it is PC ported.
So just to tell you how bad it is PC port wise, when you type in Max Payne on YouTube, a lot of it
It's like
comes up as
did
how
that-
to play the game on Steam or
Yeah.
how to do your system controls to do
I had
this.
to download an NVIDIA Inspector and change my frame rate max. And that was actually interesting. I like doing that because it made me
yeah.
learn something new. But at the same time, I shouldn't have to fucking do that. to
Yeah,
play
I had
games.
to change my PC to a legacy PC that was able to go back and basically play with old graphics cards for that time
Yeah.
frame. And yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
so
like, what the fuck?
the main problem is apparently is our graphic cards are so good that apparently these old games did a lot of things by frame rate.
Yeah.
So like when the frame rate reached this amount, that means you're in a dream sequence and it's going to push you to this part.
Yeah.
And when it reads that, your computer apparently throws a shit ton of frame rates at it, and the game doesn't know what to do with all that.
Yeah.
So it's crazy that they did it that way. I can't believe that was a way to fucking configure your game. But
Yeah.
it's amazing. Honestly, it's fucking phenomenal hearing that and being like, holy shit, is that really how they changed the scenes by the number of frame rates that
That's
are coming
pretty
at you?
cool,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's fucking sweet.
This is a very John Woo style of mechanics in this.
Yeah.
And for those of you not familiar with John Woo Mechanics was the
John
old
was
school.
the guy from oh god, what am I thinking of? That's not Doom, right? No, that's John something else. That's with the Spanish last name, Gonzalez or something like that. Can't think of who John Woo is.
John Woo is from the. He's a
just
filmmaker.
He just directed a movie, like a big one, right?
He's done a few big ones.
Wasn't
Let's
there a
see.
Marvel one he just did?
Well, he did Face Off. He did Hard Boiled. He did Mission Impossible 2. He did the Red Cliff series.
No, I don't know any of those very much. Oh well.
Yeah, he's just done a lot of big action
Did
movies.
he direct this game too? Or is that you just saying it within
It's
the
just
styling?
it's with the style of
Okay,
John
gotcha.
Woo. So with John Woo style, basically what that means is every time you jump in this game, it goes into slow motion.
Yeah.
So John Woo was the very he was
Kind
the
of.
one who like really did a lot of the slow mo in things before a lot of other people are famous for it now did it.
Yeah.
John Woo was one of the first ones in a lot of old martial arts and fighting games. And there's a John Woo fighting game called, I think, like Stronghold. And in that, it's all that style of fighting as well. And
yes, cat. If you can hear the cat, his cat has been very vocal lately.
Oh, way too much. But it's a lot of guns, bullet time. It's just, that's honestly where the game is the greatest, is when you do using the bullet time.
Yeah. And one thing I hated about this game, I don't know if you experience this too. Why the fuck did they put any element of platforming in this game?
I hated the platforming in this game.
So it would be fine if, because like other games did it, like Halo did it, but Halo did it really well.
Well, and Halo did it in ways where it wasn't like difficult.
Yeah.
Like there's big giant areas.
Yeah, and like if you platform, you're jumping from this beam to this beam and you have plenty of room to make it. In this game, your jump is so shit that if you jump from this to that, you're probably not going to make it 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
It was so annoying to have any aspect of platforming in this fucking game.
Especially in the dream sequences where it's pitch black and there's just like a blood stain on a pipe that you're walking on.
Don't even get me started on that, because in my experience with that
was way worse for you.
Yeah. So if I jump up, there's no jump.
Oh,
I couldn't jump. So on the second
and jumping makes that so much easier.
No, you have to in the second one.
Yeah.
You have no choice but to fucking jump.
Yeah.
So at one point I had to like do the roll
to
go across areas, and it would work like 1 out of 50 times. So I kept having to reload my save, and finally I got it. I'm like, okay, don't fuck anything up. Save right after this, because if you fuck it up, you're not doing it again. You're just going to quit playing.
Do not use the autosave in this game. Save after every fucking thing
that was another thing. Like, I like that concept of saving, like, and I get it's a Skyrim kind of save where you save after every hit if you're having trouble killing a boss or something, if you're trying to cheese it right. But I kind of hate that aspect of games.
I definitely hate that aspect of games.
Yeah,
it's kind of, but I like it with older games because a lot of older games were harder.
And I mean, we complained about it in like the Donkey Kong. Remember when we played that and we said, okay, this was so much easier on emulator because we could save right before we do everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, which it makes it easier on tougher games. But games like this, I'm like, well, that should just have a checkpoint system where like Halo does. Like that Halo does it great.
But like the dream sequences that we were complaining about, they would be a nightmare if you didn't have the save states.
Yeah, so and any kind of platforming in this game was shit. There were points where you jumped and you just could not make it because you were 1 millimeter off, and the game's blocks are just so shitty that if you don't get it perfectly, you don't get it at all.
There's certain sections where the enemies just instant hit you every time.
Yeah, and that was a little annoying too. Fighting enemies in this game, it's a third-person shooter, so it's not like fighting the enemies sometimes got so fucking annoying because that's all the game was.
Yeah.
Like the one thing that I really liked about this game was the puzzles.
Yeah.
Whenever they had a puzzle sequence, I'm like, well, this is actually pretty fucking cool to figure out this shit.
Yeah.
And then they only did it like 5 times.
Yeah.
I'm like, they should have put more puzzles in here. That would have made this game way more fun. Take out all the platforming for it. No jumping across anything. Just make everything straight walking.
The last puzzle was a little hard to figure out.
Which one was the last one?
The radio, knocking on the radio tower.
You know, the first time I did it, I died. I didn't understand what I had to do because I hit both, and I'm like, okay, so now what? Did the wind just knocks it over or fucking something?
Yeah.
So, and then I died. I thought I just had to wait a time sequence, so I just waited there, and then if you wait too long, she escapes and shoots you, kills you.
Yeah.
So then the second time, I'm like, okay, I'll just try shooting the tower and see what happens after that. So I got both, and I shot the tower, and that wasn't too hard. It took me one try to do it. All these puzzles were really easy, luckily.
Yeah.
Like, there was one where you were on top of the building, not on top of the building, but up in the building, and you had to shoot these 4 like green things.
Oh, yeah.
And then you could go back to the elevator. And I was in that room for a good solid 5 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck do I do in here? Like, there's nothing to interact with. What am I doing?
Yeah, there was a time for me, like, when you're going down when you run on the elevator towards the end of the game and the helicopter's shooting at you, the elevator stops at one point, but no doors open. I didn't realize there was another elevator next to you.
Yeah,
that you jump down into.
Yep.
And I was stuck there for so long, and I kept on dying to the helicopter because I kept on like, do I have to kill the helicopter?
Yes.
And so many times in this game, I tried killing the helicopters and shit. I'm like, there's no way you can kill it. There's just no way.
I mean, you kill it at the end.
I know you do.
That's
technically.
Yeah, the puzzles in this game are actually kind of a little challenging, but not so much so that they were impossible. Like, I never had to look any of them up. It was really cool. I really enjoyed the puzzles. I really wish they would have done more. Like, this game did great with the puzzles.
I agree.
Move more fucking puzzles in there. Take the
one of the mechanics
away.
I also really enjoyed with this was anytime there was some sort of like clue in the room, as soon as you walked into the room, Max Payne, there was be an explanation, and then Max Payne would also like say something like, "Ah, I see there's a note on the desk that I should look at."
Okay, well that's good because I didn't hear any of that.
Yeah, not having the audio, you wouldn't have that.
I had no audio, guys.
But having the audio, it's really great because he literally says like, over there on the chair, there's a letter I should look at.
Yeah.
Or, oh my gosh, this is all the clues of this cult. It's so weird. And he always says something about whatever is in the room that you need to look at. Yeah. He's like, oh, maybe I should take a look at the news.
That's cool.
It's so cool.
I really wish I would have gotten to hear any of that.
And there's a lot of I love the exposition in the news itself. Yeah. You turn on the news and you watch it, or you listen to the radio and you hear the news articles of this is happening in the city.
All right. So let's talk about the thing everyone wants to know about.
Yes.
Bullet time.
Yes.
I loved it. Honestly, it was fun.
It's very Matrix.
Yeah, and one thing I hated about it is I wish they would have had an option to... So my toggle was literally, okay, toggle it on, and then it stays on unless you toggle it off, right? Mm-hmm. Or do like a side move, and anytime you do a side move, like you side jump or something, it comes on automatically. I really wish they would have made it so that was toggleable too. Does that make sense? So if I just wanted to jump across a door without going slow-mo, I kind of wish they would have done that because I wanted that ability, because that ability was really useful until the slow-mo ended and then you're dead on the ground. So, like, it would have been really nice to not have to do slow-mo every fucking time you sidestepped anywhere.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I would have loved them. But even without it, it was fine. It was still okay. But yeah, anytime you like jump, Steven's right. You jump forward, you jump backwards. The jumping forward part was the coolest one because you're like jumping and you slow down.
Either jumping forward or the jumping backwards. Those are my two favorites.
Jumping side to side was kind of
because
shitty.
like sometimes like you'll an elevator door will open and there's a bunch of enemies right in front of you and you just jump backwards and you slow motion.
It's so cool. Like the bullet time in this game was really cool.
It's honestly the thing that sells this game.
Yeah, it's the only thing that saves this game, honestly, because the enemies are too strong sometimes. The amount of enemies you have to fucking fight is ridiculous.
Oh, it is ridiculous. And you'll get through, and this is something Scott and I have both complaining about in a lot of games. You'll get through an entire like building, going floor to floor, clearing out all these people, but then people will still appear behind you sometimes.
Yeah, and you're like, where did you come from?
It's like, what?
I was hiding behind a curtain the whole time. You didn't know I was there.
There's a lot of like random things in this game that are so unique. Like in the whorehouse area at the beginning of the game.
You have to go to a whorehouse. It's actually kind of fun.
But the greatest thing is, I saw there was a button next to the bed.
Oh, yeah, you push the button?
And the bed starts vibrating and shaking everywhere.
Did you push the other one?
Yeah. Oh, wait, which one? Other one?
So there's two.
There's a couple of different beds.
There's a room with two beds in it, and each one has a button. And if you push one button, it vibrates. And if you push the other button, the bed actually moves aside and you get secret stash.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
I didn't know that.
So I'm guessing there was more of that in the game, but I had no idea where to find it. But I found that one, and I was like, okay, this is my one I'll get. This is the one I'll get for this game. They have secret stuff.
Yeah, I think there was one other secret I found, but I think I got a certain like key from some certain area and I went back to it.
I think one of the things that would have made this game cool is if they went in a Doom kind of direction with it. So Doom has this thing, when you find a secret area, it says secret area up top, and you can like reload your ammo and everything, and you get some cool shit. You get a cool gun. I think this game would have been really cool to have secret areas like that, and then just have an obvious like, you found a secret area. Yeah. I think that would have been really cool for this game. But
what's your favorite guns to use?
You know, all the guns. This is something I wanted to complain about too. Before we get into that,
okay.
Please, guys, if you're making a game, aim down the fucking sights.
I seriously
was
so
damn
angry about that. It's all hip firing.
Yeah, and it's like bad hip firing.
Except for with the sniper. Sniper's the only one you can aim with.
But it's a shit aim because you can't like...
You can't pick the zoom.
Yeah, like you can, but you have to hold the zoom button to continue zooming until you don't want to zoom anymore. Then you stop holding it and it just stays at that zoom.
Yeah.
And if you want to change it, you have to hold it again and reset the zoom. It's like the gunplay in this was so fucking bad with some stuff. But yeah, they have no fucking aiming down the sights and it's super annoying. And like you shoot your pistol like, I don't know, 9 out of your 10 shots are going to fucking miss if you're more than like 5 yards away from them. And I'm like, why? Put in an aim down the sights. I don't want to sit here and waste ammo.
And the long shotgun had ridiculous range for some reason.
Yeah, and literally, how many times did you fucking die from someone just shooting you from 100 yards away?
Dude, I don't know how many times, like, I couldn't hit someone across a different rooftop with a pistol, but I could pull out my shotgun and kill them.
Fuck them up real fast. I hated using the shotguns, honestly. I
hated the sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah,
that one was really underpowered. The big shotgun I used a lot for the most of the beginning of the game.
Yeah, and then you just completely forget it because you realize, oh, it can't kill anything in one shot. That makes sense for a shotgun.
Yeah.
This is perfect for a shotgun.
The commando, obviously, once you get to that point in the game where you get that's the best weapon.
Is that the rifle?
Game. Yeah.
Or is that the pump action?
That's the rifle. It's
not pump action, the automatic shotgun.
It might be that. It's the one that has 30 bullets.
Okay, yeah, that's a rifle.
Yeah.
There's a rifle and a cool shotgun you get near the end of the game, which was kind of dumb, but whatever. Yeah. The guns kind of... Off and on, I liked using the pistols a lot in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then I switched to the Uzis, and I used nothing but the Uzis.
The dual wielding the Uzis is
so
fun.
cool.
Especially with the dives. Diving forward, dual Uzi is like the coolest thing you can do in the game.
It's the most worth it because it just shoots out so quickly compared to the fucking shotguns.
Yeah, it really does. But that also sucks because you use so much ammo with them.
You really do. And you only get like 250 extra or something, so you barely get any extra. And it's kind of annoying too because like... I don't know, like, did you feel like there were too many guns? Because I felt like there were too... but there's different combos to use. I mean, you have the Desert Eagle, the regular pistols, and then you could dual pistol, but you never used the dual pistols or that other pistol after you got the Desert Eagle. Like, the problem is there's so many guns that eventually you stop using certain guns. And I'm always like, well, take out like 2 guns in there and then have everyone use...
I think they just needed to have better gun balancing and maybe even more variety, because they're still needed to be...
Or just change the fucking health of the
because there was also the grenade launcher, which was ridiculous too.
Yeah, but then you use it and it's 40 feet ahead of you and you still die from it somehow.
I got pretty good with it in those big areas.
Yeah. I loved using the grenades to get around corners because you literally walk around a corner, bam, 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 you're dead. Okay, that's cool.
Was annoying. How precise enemies were with grenades.
How you shot 17 bullets and missed 16 of them, and how they shot 2 and hit you in the head both times. Yep. Yeah, that was cool. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, tons of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, the mechanics of the AI in this are really just too much. They should have dialed it back just a tiny bit.
I think I have heard that Max Payne 3 is actually really incredible.
Is it?
Gameplay-wise,
okay,
mechanic-wise.
I mean, this is like the first one, so you're like... Like, I bet it's the same thing with Mass Effect. I'm like, Mass Effect 2 is so much better than Mass Effect 1.
Exactly.
Like, I bet the second one in this is amazing. Mm-hmm. And they fixed everything that we hate about this game.
I have the third one now. I'm gonna probably play through this entire franchise just because I want to see where it goes.
Yeah,
with it.
I'm curious too because the story was so interesting. Anyway, favorite gun. I can't narrow it down because I use so many.
For me, it's just Commando.
I don't know. And I like that gun a lot because it was the most accurate.
Yeah.
But the sniper was a lot of fun too from far distances.
Sniper was fun on certain levels, like especially that crane level.
Yeah.
Where you're on top.
On the crane and you got to shoot people. That was fucking cool. Yeah.
That was fucking cool.
It reminded me a lot of James Bond. And I'm like, this is so cool.
And that's one of the cool things about this game. Certain levels of this in certain areas remind you so much of like GoldenEye James Bond.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Any other mechanics that I'm forgetting that I hate? Just iron sights. Please, guys, aim down sights. If you're going to put a game, always put a fucking aim down sights.
The one thing I also hated with this is it fucking pulls a fucking Naruto and flashbacks to his trauma every time, just like in Naruto. They always flash back to the fucking... a swing set, and everyone's like, oh gosh, here's another Naruto sad moment at the beginning. And it's the same thing with this. It flashes back to his wife's death and several dream sequences about his wife's death like 7 times. And you go through his house.
It's actually pretty sweet because you get to see this dead baby and you're like, dead baby. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's so much.
Let's get into that with story because there's a lot about story I want to talk about. All right, let's move on.
It's story time. Let's get started.
All right, story time, guys. All right, story, very brief, very rushed story. He's angry all the time. His wife and child were killed because of a drug. There's a lot of reasons. It really layers why they were killed, and eventually you're like, I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway, his wife and kid are killed.
By people on this drug called Valkyr.
Yeah, but who cares? Like, because honestly, it doesn't matter because that
Yeah.
changes pretty much over time. Then you find out they're not on the drug.
They were.
No, they're not on the drug. But then they are on the drug. But then they were sent there to kill her specifically.
Yes.
But then they're not sent there to kill her specifically. But then they are.
They definitely were.
Yeah, they definitely were, but they're not. Like, this game gets so fucking confusing. But just know that his wife and kid are dead, and he's out for vengeance. That's pretty much the whole fucking story, right there. Like, that's it.
Yeah, he was a.
You have no idea why you're doing any of what you're doing.
He was a cop at the top of his game. Everybody wanted him. Everyone thought he was a great cop. The DA wanted to have him. The DEA wanted to have him. Everyone wanted to make him a detective. He's like, no, I just got a kid. I want to have a great time. And it does one of the things like,
I just taught my kid how to shoot a desert eagle.
I got to tell you what happened 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to where his wife and kid get killed.
It's kind of sad, like...
Yeah.
Like, it is a sad story, but let's jump into what we liked about the story. What did you like? What was your favorite
I loved
parts?
the utter chaos of the story
Yes.
sometimes. It's very Rockstar.
Yeah.
It's very Grand Theft Auto
All
before
over the
Grand Theft
fucking
Auto.
place,
It's
yeah.
way, especially at the beginning. The first volume, because it's broken up into 3 volumes and 24 chapters.
Yeah.
But the first volume is about a guy with a satanic cult who like believes in like Norse mythology,
They
but
should
also
have
the
ended it
old
with the
ones.
first volume, I'm telling you right now.
And like all this other crazy shit and high on all these drugs and just
Yeah.
all this really fucked up horrible shit. Like this
So
guy
you know
is
what's
a
funny about
crazy
this
individual.
is in the first mission you have to fucking meet your friend who has information about
Yeah.
the gang. I completely forgot about that by the third mission.
Oh, yeah.
Because so much shit happened.
Seriously, there's so much in that first volume of stuff that happens that it throws your mind for a fucking loop and
Yeah.
you forget everything that happened at the beginning. And then like the rest of the story kind of like it really yada yadas in the middle, that middle volume.
I think that everything after the first volume is shit.
I think
Personally, but
I think there's certain levels and
I
like
think
that the bunker and stuff was fun.
and I think that's cool, but I think they should have made Satanic Bill the bad guy. I don't know his name. His name's like Pucciana Bogaru.
yeah,
Some bullshit Italian name, but
Punchinello or something
yeah,
like that.
but who cares? Like, they should have named him something cool. Again, I was telling him before, like, you gotta fucking, if you're gonna be Italian and a mobster, have a fucking nickname.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Why the fuck wouldn't
Ricky
you?
Funbags.
Yeah. But like, he was a satanic dude who was sacrificing people to the devil. So take his first
And
name.
not just a devil. Every devil from like multiple mythologies. Like he was like
he had Loki he was sacrificing
Yeah,
for, I
he
think,
was-
at one
yeah.
point, and Hell.
Loki, Hela, Cthulhu.
Yep. Cthulhu was mentioned.
Who? I think Thanatos.
Hades.
Thanatos, Hades.
Like, he got the whole fucking ringer,
like
guys.
pretty much every death god or whatever was like.
I thought that was really cool, and again, just give him a fucking nickname, Satanic, whatever his first name is.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been a great idea for them, but they didn't fucking do that. But whatever. My favorite part of the story, the best part of this whole fucking game, second dream sequence.
I'm trying to remember the second shit.
Second dream sequence. You keep going into this office.
Oh yes,
Yeah, and at
yes,
you have to
yes.
pick up this like piece of paper on the desk.
This is when you're high on Valkyrie
Yeah,
yourself.
so someone like blew this drug into your face basically, and you're high as fuck, and you start having like a monologue like, Max Payne, don't you know? You're in a video game. You're a video game character, Max Payne. And then he's like, it makes sense, the bullet time. How could I possibly slow down time while I'm dodging stuff? Like, it's the funniest moment of the whole
It
game.
was at this moment that I realized that all of this wasn't real. Some of this was a comic book. Some of this was a video game.
Yep. It was so funny.
Well, and then you answer the phone and it's like saying random stuff,
Yeah.
and then it'll be like one guy like Max, and then you keep repeating it, and like the note keeps changing every time,
Yep.
and the phone call keeps changing every
Yep.
time, and it's fantastic.
It's
I have
actually
to
like,
agree.
yeah, it was actually cool, and then they ruined it by going into the house again.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they fucking just completely destroyed that moment. They turned something really cool into going back to your fucking house and having to walk along this like tiny bit of fucking, I don't know, like a little wood beam with a bunch of red paint on it.
Having to keep hearing your baby crying and dying and your wife crying and dying
Which
over and
I can get
over
why
and
they
over
did that,
again.
like to make it like kind of horrific.
Because it's
I
in
guess.
his head. It's
Yeah, sure,
PTSD.
but at the
He's got it replaying.
same time, take that fucking house sequence out of the goddamn.
Yeah,
it was
you don't
so
need-
worthless. It was
yeah.
just literally again another reason to platform. That was a whole fucking platforming section for them. That's all they
yeah.
put that in for. Take it fucking out.
It's the worst part of the game by
Yeah.
far. It's not even close.
It's not fun. It's not entertaining. There's no cool visual effects with it. It's just boring as shit. Now the first
It
dream
makes it
sequence,
creepy.
the first dream sequence was creepy.
Yes.
It was fucking sweet.
Yes.
I think you stop at that one.
Yes,
Because you go
I
up to
agree.
the door and the like nails shut all of a sudden. Like I
Yeah.
thought that was fucking sweet.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, that was scary as fuck.
Yeah, that was the one part of the game where I was like, oh, okay. This came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and that was cool. But then they do this whole let's do another dream sequence because we haven't added enough fucking levels in this
Yeah.
game. It's already 24 fucking chapters and 3 prologues. Whatever.
And a tutorial.
Yeah.
And a bonus level, apparently.
The tutorial's cool in this, by the way. Oh, yeah, and guys, by the way, there's a tutorial. It's important that every single game in the world has a tutorial.
No.
And this one's actually really cool. I love this tutorial because it's one that you get to choose whether you want to do or not.
Yeah.
You don't even get the option like in the game to say, would you like to run through the tutorial? No, it's a separate level that you pick on the main screen.
Yes.
That's smart
That's-
as shit.
That's how I want tutorials done.
Every single one, right?
If every
Oh.
game had a tutorial separate from the game, that way if you want it, it's there.
Yeah.
I'm 100% down for it.
Yeah.
And I did play it, honestly. I did.
Yeah, and I did too, because I wanted to learn about the bullet
Yeah.
mechanics.
But like for me, like I definitely love that aspect of a lot of games. Like you have to have it separate. One of the things I will say for the next game we're playing, it has a tiny bit of tutorial at
Does
the
it?
beginning,
Okay.
but it doesn't give you everything.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
learn stuff
You have
yourself.
to do learn
okay,
some
then that's fine. So, story-wise in this game, they needed to stop at the first volume.
Yeah.
That is my opinion. I thought like
They just made it too convoluted. It's
Yeah.
one of those stories where it's like, this is the bad guy. Oh, wait, but he's working for this bad guy. Oh, wait, but he's working for this bad guy. Oh, wait, but he's working for this good guy who's now a bad guy.
he was on my team at the beginning and now he's not. Like, and
It's
that-
also during the biggest winter storm
Yeah, they kept
ever
saying
to
that.
hit New York.
See, and I know they were trying to set settings with that, like
Yeah, it
but
tried to
it
make
didn't
sense
feel
like why
that.
the streets were empty and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they weren't because we were filled with fucking mobsters. How did
Yes.
nobody die of hypothermia if
And
it was
that's
so
my
fucking bad?
point. Is there's several levels that are outside or on rooftops,
Or
but
people are still driving on the streets during the worst snowstorm in New York
on
history.
top of pipes
Yeah.
on rooftops.
I'm just like floored about how shitty, how bad it. I think that you take that whole part out. I think just fuck the whole setting of that and just say it's a regular night in New York.
Yeah,
Who gives a shit about the storm? Like the
Yeah.
storm honestly got to a point where I'm like, okay, can you stop mentioning it?
Yeah,
I
seriously,
understand it.
though.
Like this is like the 8th time you've mentioned there's a bad storm coming, and I get
Yeah.
you're trying to say like it's because Max Payne's going crazy and he's the storm. Like I understand, I get it. We all get it. Just stop
well,
already.
and the story did become really convoluted because it's like, all right, well, this hooker was secretly videotaping all the big celebrities
Yep.
and government people, and she had a videotape of this person, and that person went to this mobster to try to get this mobster to come after this guy, and this person went after this guy. But
Yeah.
the CIA took over this drug program for super soldiers and then made it a drug to just go out into the world, but then got caught, and then
it gets too far. I really like the first volume though, because it's like okay, like even if it takes a base story, your wife and kid are killed by drug addicts.
Yeah.
like they just invaded your home because they're high on a drug.
Yeah.
you hate the drug, you hate the distribution of it. You're
Yeah.
going after the guy who's doing it.
Yeah.
Bam. That's a
Boom.
great story.
Done.
That is a good story. That's a
Yeah.
fun fucking story.
Oh, yeah.
And that first volume, if they just take out some of the second volume, maybe even add the fucking bunker from the third volume into the first volume.
Yeah.
Just as like a hideaway for Satanic Bill.
For sure.
That would be great. That volume would have been perfect. That whole story in the first volume, great. Everything after that, too fucking much. Too many bad
Yeah.
guys. Too many fucking like. And I really like the baseball bat guy.
Yeah.
And I liked him. Put him as a mini boss.
Yeah.
Like they had options to make this game really cool, and instead they just kept going too fucking far onto the next level.
I agree.
Well, take another step upwards. Let's get another bad guy in there. Well, now you're facing the the CEO of this major company that for some reason, somehow during the worst storm in New York history is flying a fucking helicopter out. Like, just let her fly out. She's going to die. It's the worst storm in New York history. What is going on here?
No one can survive. No one can be outside. No one can do anything. But we're going to have everything working. Our entire warehouse is still functioning.
Yeah, see, it's just weird because I think they really knocked it out of the park with that first volume. And then after that, I think they wanted to extend the game farther, which is fine. Just like I said, add those levels that you added into the first volume and have Satanic Bill be the main bad guy.
And I think that you could... Because, I mean, even Far Cry 3 did it, which we still complained about that a little bit with Voss being such an incredible bad guy, but then they had Hoyt was the actual main bad guy that you ended up having to face after that, and the game kind of fell flat after that.
Yeah.
I think this game also has that same struggle, where it had such a great villain and such a great story for this really crazy individual that's just pure rock star energy. Yeah. It just is rock star vibe.
And like the battle with him was fucking sweet.
Ridiculous. Where he's like teleporting and multiple of them are appearing.
Yeah, it's like it's so insane and it's so cool. But then you take that and the next thing you have to do is invade somebody's fucking mansion.
Yeah.
And kill like 3 people that are just hanging out in there. Like
well,
nobody tries to run away. They're all just hiding in a room that has no other exit.
I hate that girl that was involved with you too, because like
I got so confused.
It's the most confusing thing ever. She becomes friendly with you. Is like, oh, we have the same bad guys. We should team up together.
This
and then
girl, you only meet her once.
No, you meet her twice.
When's the second time you meet her? She's
later
dead
in the game. No, her sister's dead.
Oh, her sister's
dead.
Her
twin sister's dead.
Okay, but you didn't know who it was.
Yes.
Because I don't remember if you met her at the end. Do you meet her at the end?
You meet her at the end. It's in a cutscene, I think. Like, she gets shot and killed.
Oh, yeah, in the elevator in the head. No, she doesn't get killed because her body's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have no idea what happened. I don't know why the fuck they did that. It's really Ada Wong.
Yeah, it's very Ada Wong.
That's all it is. It's a weird thing where you meet this girl right after you kill Satanic Bill, and instantly she's got a gun to your head. You've got a gun to her head. You're not friends. And she's like, how about a drink? And you're like, yeah. I'm like... What? I'm on a rampage.
Obviously, she rupees the drink.
Yeah. And then this baseball bat guy like ties you up and starts beating the shit out of you. Like, it makes no sense. And then the baseball bat guy's like, this is pretty cliche, but I'm going to leave you here alone.
And then when you meet her later on in the story, she jumps in front of a bullet for you and then gets shot in the head. I'm like,
no, she doesn't jump in front of a bullet. You meet her after you kill these people and the elevator opens and she's like, gotcha. And then she puts the gun down. She's like, we're friends now. You're like,
oh, yeah.
What?
But then she gets shot.
And then she gets shot by random people coming around the corner. And I'm like, good. You fucking drugged me, bitch.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
I ain't trusting you again.
I don't even know your name. I don't have a relationship with you.
I saw your dead sister, by the way.
Yeah, bitch. It makes no sense why this woman was in the game. She served no purpose besides to drug you.
Yeah.
To put you like, but you could have just walked into another room and fought the baseball guy.
Or you could have gotten drugged randomly by something else happening.
But you didn't even have to. You could have just walked into a bar.
It's true.
Like, literally. It's just ridiculous how much fucking, like, on top of shit they tried to put everything. Let's put a woman in there that's a love interest, but he hates also.
They definitely went with it. And then...
Yeah.
And then...
It's too much, guys.
Story begins.
I will say, like, there's about 100 games that probably came out that are better than Max Payne.
Look, we both spent probably like 8 hours-ish playing this, 8 to 10 hours playing this game. And I can't tell you a single character's name besides Max Payne.
And Satanic Bill. Because I made up
the one we made up.
I made up a great name for him. Okay?
And Ada Wong.
Yeah, and Ada Wong too. Listen, guys, I should have wrote this game. I would have made some great names.
You say that a lot on those.
The baseball guy, his Baseball Jack, was that his name?
I don't remember.
It's something Jack, I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember.
Because I remember it because they had a cool little comic strip that they were doing. I thought his story was actually really cool. He's like a guy who kills people with a baseball bat, and his calling card is he always leaves a little comic from his old superhero who used to bash people with a baseball bat, the baseball kid or something. But it's like Baseball Jack or something like that. But yeah, like the memorableness of this game and the names of the characters, like they're just not memorable. The other thing I didn't like about this, but did like, is it seems like your whole point in going on this rampage is to find information. And then everyone who has information, you just kill them right away.
Yeah.
You don't try to interrogate anyone. You just go, bitch.
It's Captain Baseball Bat Boy.
Yeah, Captain Baseball Bat Boy, but that's not his name. That's the superhero that he leaves his tag at. Yeah. And it's really fucked up because at one point there's a comic strip where he's like, I'm going to beat the shit out of this woman whose name is Mrs. Helmet.
Yeah.
It's just like, he's hitting her on the head and she's like, it doesn't hurt because I'm wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
It's so fucking dumb.
Oh, yeah. And that one guy was Angelo Punchinello.
Yeah. So Satanic Angelo, that's not as good as Satanic Bill.
That's not.
Yeah, you got to go Satanic Bill.
And there was Joey Finito.
Joey Finito, hey!
Regilio Finito.
Regilio Finito, hey!
Vinny Gognitti.
Vinny Gognitti, yay! All right,
Jim
we're done.
Ravera.
Yeah, see, the problem is no nicknames. They should have really done some more with the names.
Yeah, because you just don't remember any of these names.
Yeah, and it's like none of the only fight that was memorable to me was the last one because it's the last thing you do in the fucking game, and the Satanic one because he's literally summoning the devil.
Yeah,
which was fucking sweet.
Yeah,
God,
that whole aspect of that whole thing. It's
just
like
so mad
finding
they went
all
on.
the occult shit that he has, and like I was even like looking and like reading all the like the books and stuff, all the titles, and I was like, holy shit! Like he creates a montage of like so many people.
I think he had the what's the fucking satanic book called? Polynomicon.
Oh gosh, I know the Necronomicon.
Necronomicon. He had the Necronomicon.
He actually had the Necronomicon, which was an awesome homage to Evil Dead.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing was really fun. But yeah, all right. Well, that's pretty much story. Any horrible parts of the story you want to talk about? Any terrible?
No,
I think we pretty much covered with like how they went too far. That's the most horrible thing they did with this game.
The platforming was just too much. Too many dream sequences. Too many times going back to the house. Besides that, it wasn't bad.
Too many times seeing your dead baby.
Yeah.
Too many times. So you covered it with a blanket, but still, you know it's there.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Worf, or nah?
Steven, you're not going to like me for this.
Fair.
I'm going to go nah.
Okay.
I'm going to go nah for a very specific reason. This game, again, there are 100 games that did the same premise, but better. Yeah. They did it so much. Like, if you want, you could take out certain elements of it. If you want the platformer, go play Super Mario. If you want the fucking shoot 'em up, go play Halo. If you want the detective noir, we played Murdered Soul Suspect, which did it 100 times better.
True.
They tried too hard to put too many elements in this game. Keep it with the fucking shoot 'em up.
Plus, I mean, our favorite cop game was the Chinese one.
Yeah, the something dogs. Starts with an A.
Sleeping Dogs.
Sleeping Dogs. Never mind. Not an A. Not even close to an A.
Yeah. Which that one's both of those cop games are way better.
And
even Battlefield Hotline was way better.
Like, honestly, there's so many better games that do the same premise but so fucking more memorable.
I say for me, this is Worf. Especially if you can get your hands on an actual copy of the game, because the PC port, like we said, it's just not worth it at all.
PC port is like, go burn your computer after you play it, pretty much. That's what PC port is.
But I do think it's Worf. I think the noir comic book, him reading it is just so hilarious. The story is so nutty. It's so Rockstar.
I would agree with you if I had to hear it.
If you played Rockstar games before, you might like this.
Yeah. There's a big following for it.
Yeah.
There is. And like, they're all like,
especially the third one.
Yeah. Well, in the first one, I saw all these people, this is my favorite game as a kid. I'm like, how? Did you not play Super Smash as a kid? Did you play Pokemon? What the hell did you do as a kid? Was this the only game you played? You had nothing to compare it to?
See, I was playing GoldenEye.
Like anything else, you could pick any game and it would be better than this, I think.
But I do like having those aspects of the game were great to me. There's so many times I saved clips of just some of the things that he says, some of the dialogue, and I can't remember them off the top of my head.
It sounds like the dialogue is the most worthwhile part of the game.
It's so fucking hilarious sometimes.
But yeah, I'm going to go nah. Just, again, the other games do it better. I think a lot of games have done this better. And guys, honestly, if you want the detective noir thing, you go for fucking Murdered Soul Suspect. We enjoyed that game so much more than I enjoyed this game.
100%, especially gameplay-wise.
Yeah, and then it just, everything about this game screamed like they did not take enough time on it.
Yeah.
And that's really all it was.
And I do wish there was more detective actual work in this.
Yes, thank you. I was like, why the hell did they put this whole, like, either take it out completely or make it a major part of the game.
Especially because they made sure, like, after his family was killed, it's like, all right, I'm going to be a detective now.
Yeah.
But then he never does anything detective
All he does is rampage! rage.
Yeah, I mean, like, he finds clues, but, like, the clues are very much just
Out in
in
the
your
open,
face.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he left his computer on with his password in.
Oh, he left the documents and a signed letter saying how he killed 47 people.
Oh, look, I found a signed letter on this desk that says how this mobster hired this mobster to kill this mobster.
It's like the Rick and Morty where it's like 2-minute crimes or whatever.
Yeah.
I did it. Here's the gun. That's what it was the entire game. It's like
I can't believe you bring up Rick and Morty after Justin.
well, that's a great fucking part of Rick and Morty.
I'm just giving you shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just again, this game could have been better. I think if they took more time on it, but I think at the time there was a big rush to probably get games out because a lot of games were fucking coming out on. And I mean, brand new Xbox console, you want to be the de facto game on that, right? And unfortunately, who did it? Halo. Yeah, couldn't beat it, guys. Can't beat it. All right. Well, that's it for this week's episode. And next week's episode is
Shadow of the Colossus.
You know what's insane about this game?
What's that?
I'll give you a little jump in on this. I heard about this game a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Because everybody fucking loves it.
Yeah.
Everyone who's played it loves it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this game must have just come out or something. This is insane. This game came out in 2005. I had no fucking clue. I thought it just came out.
Nope.
God, this is crazy.
This is a
We're talking about it
15
years, 17 years later, 18 years later.
This math, everybody.
Math.
This is a PlayStation, just a classic. This is
PlayStation 2, I think it originally came out on.
And this is one that's been on every console since, and it's been I think remastered and remade.
You mean on every PlayStation?
Yeah.
Literally every fucking one.
Yes. And it's been remastered and remade, and the remake is just
remastered
basically with all the new shit.
With the better UI, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, Scott's playing the original like we usually do. I'm playing the remastered version.
I'm gonna hope for big things from this one.
I've played the first 6 Colossus so far, and it's incredible.
There's 7?
There's 16.
There's 16?
16 Colossi you have to fight.
I thought there were 7.
Nope. This game is Breath of the Wild-ish.
So it's Breath of the Wild before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, and the graphics are gorgeous. Like, this is like Last of Us style graphics for me. Like I was just
on the remaster. I bet the original's
oh god, it is. Well, even watching clips of the old one, it still looks impressive.
Yeah.
Like the size and verticality
compared to Max Payne.
Yeah, especially compared to Max Payne.
Compared to Max Payne,
which is only 4 years later.
Yeah, the faces are literally like fucking Tomb Raider faces.
Oh god, the faces in this. This is a game that's memed a lot. Max Payne is a game that's memed a lot for the faces it makes. Some of the characters.
Yeah, and the faces are they look terrible. Yeah.
Like the weird grin that Max Payne has a lot.
Yeah,
it's just
so awkward. All right, guys. Well, we'll catch you next week with Shadow of the Colossus.
Bye.
Love you. No.
Yes.